Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to ACS Sneakers. My name is Aidan. On today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Air Jordan 5 Anthracite. Now, before we get into that, I just want to welcome back my returning viewers. Thank you as always for just continuing to support me and this channel. Thanks to your guys' support, we've just smashed 50,000 views on the channel. It's just absolutely mind-blowing, and I honestly can't thank you guys enough for all of your support. I know I say that on each and every video, but I just want you guys to know how much I do appreciate you guys keep coming back and just supporting my content each and every time. And to any new viewers, welcome to the channel. We do release brand new sneaker content just like this each and every week. So do make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification as well so you never miss a video. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the intro. So before we do go ahead and get into the review, let's just go ahead and take a quick look at the box. As you can see, we just have that bog standard Air Jordan 5 box, black finish across the top with the red Jumpman branding in the centre. Now, for anyone that doesn't already know, this isn't an OG colourway, and a good way to tell is if you take a quick look at the left-hand portion on this side of the box, you can see that we do have the Air branding. Whenever there is an OG colourway, you do tend to see Nike Air instead of the Jumpman branding, and that's just a good way to tell if it is actually an OG colourway. If we take a quick look now at the label, which reads Air Jordan 5 Retro in the Anthracite Black Wolf Grey colourway. Now, unfortunately, due to the lights in here, I don't think it's actually going to be able to pick up the size label, but if you can tell from that. And if we just go ahead now and get straight into the review. So if we just now go ahead and get straight into the shoe, starting from the toes up. Now, the toe box itself has been comprised of this black textile, almost mesh-like material. Now, this is actually one of the main reasons as to why I even wanted to buy this shoe in the first place. Now, I do already have two other pairs of Jordan 5s in my collection. I have the What the 5s and I have the top 3 5s. Now, the top 3 5s in particular do take inspiration primarily from the metallic 5s, the fire red 5s and the grape 5s. And if you actually look at it at face value, it actually is a very similar looking shoe just in terms of the primarily black upper. So I kind of had to ask myself, do I even really need this shoe in my personal collection? And that answer for me was an overwhelming yes, and the reason for that is due to the materials that they've used on this actual shoe itself. Now, the toe box, because it is a mesh material, it doesn't crease, and I, for one, definitely hate creasing on any of my shoes. It doesn't matter what the silhouette is. If it creases, I won't wear it, so I always use crease defenders, especially in my Jordan 5s. So the fact that I can wear this pretty much without any care and just throw them on whenever I feel like it is definitely a massive selling point. It also is a very good quality of material, just as far as I can tell based on, what I've seen in hand. But I did actually watch a review by Sniper Jones, and he compared the material on the toe box to the material that they use on the Off-White 5s. Now, I unfortunately haven't been lucky enough to actually get any Off-White 5s personally, but if this material is even somewhat similar to that, it's a massive win for everyone. And now just in terms of around the toe box itself, as you can see, we have this really nice charcoal grey suede. I'm going to be completely honest, it's not the best suede in the world. There's definitely better options out there, but I do think it's decent enough for what it's worth for this shoe. And now just continuing further back the shoe, as you can see, we do have more of that really nice black textile mesh, and on both the lateral and medial sides of the shoe, we do have that 3M panel on either side. Now, I'm going to be honest with you once again, unfortunately, the panels definitely aren't the best material that I've ever seen. Like I've said already, we do have a couple of Jordan 5s in my collection, and I have also reviewed quite a lot of other colourways that I've actually let go, and this is arguably the worst material that they've used on the actual side panel. I'm not exactly sure what material it actually is, but it just feels really cheap in my opinion. I do actually think it's not going to oxidize in the same way as other Jordan 5s. This is primarily the area that does oxidize on the shoe and actually looks aged the most. But because of the material they've used, it just makes me wonder whether or not it's going to oxidize in the same way. I guess in that respect, only time will tell, and I definitely do want to wear this shoe quite a lot. So hopefully in the future, I can bring you guys an updated video and we can just see, maybe in a couple of years' time, how this actually does look. There is a benefit to using this specific material though. It's a lot more reflective than what you might have seen on previous Jordan 5 colourways. This is going to reflect a heck of a lot more than some of the other colourways you might already have. So if you do like reflective shoes, this could actually be a massive bonus for you. And moving even further back the shoe now, on the lateral side, you can see that we have the iconic 23 detailing, as well as the charcoal suede around the ankle collar, as well as around the heel. Now, this is a non-OG colourway, as I touched on at the start of the video, so that's why we see the Jumpman on the heel instead of the Nike Air branding. Like always, of course, I would prefer to show the Nike Air instead of the Jumpman. That's just a personal preference of mine. But I do actually think that this colourway is nice enough to actually wear and not really care about the fact that Nike isn't on the heel. If you are really only interested in OG colourways, I can see why you might want to pass on this. But if you don't have any of the black metallic 5s or the off-white 5s, I actually think that this is a really nice replacement in my opinion. Moving down to the midsole, we have this primarily black polyurethane midsole with the exposed air unit towards the heel. Like with all Jordan 5s, we do have that shark teeth detailing, this time in silver with the black speckled paint. Switching then to the outsole of the shoe, we do have a semi-translucent outsole with this almost off-white pre-aged colour. Now for me, this is a very welcome addition. I've had quite a few Jordan 5s as I've already touched on, and every time you wear them, this yellows so quickly if it's just icy. I don't mind it, how it looks if you just leave the shoe, you know, on a shelf or if it's just to collect. But if you actually buy your shoes to wear them, which is what I do, it just looks really aged really quickly, and it's always one of the things I've always hated. I do think that this is going to work a lot better. It's going to look a lot better for longer, and I think this will be a welcome addition to a lot of people. It also happened for me on my Jordan 11s where it completely just looks almost vintage the minute you do actually start to wear them outside. So hopefully this does age a lot better than those other models. Moving back up the shoe now, in the centre of the shoe, you can see that we do have a complete set of flat black laces. Now they've actually reconstructed how the 3M is actually featured on this shoe. If you've never owned a pair of Jordan 5s before, you might not already know that the upper portion of the tongue is where the 3M is normally shown. However, on this shoe, they've actually moved it down to the bottom quarter panels of the actual tongue itself. So if you do actually flash any kind of light on it, it is going to be reflective, and that in itself isn't an issue for me. What is an issue, however, is the fact that they've actually blacked out the Jumpman logo in the centre of the tongue. Personally, I do think it would have looked a lot better if they would have used the exact same white stitching from the upper just to define the actual logo. In my opinion, the Jumpman on the tongue is the more significant detail on the shoe. So the fact they've blacked it out isn't a massive issue, and it's not going to keep me from wanting to actually keep the shoe. But it definitely is an issue where if you look at it, it just takes something away if you ask me. Now, as we've just touched on the lacing of the shoe itself, I actually wanted to give a massive shout out to a fellow YouTuber under the name of Sony Kicks. I will leave his link in my description area below if you do want to go ahead and check out his channel. The reason I'm actually giving him a shout out is I actually went over to his channel and watched his lacing video, and it gives you lots of insightful and creative ways to actually lace up the Jordan 5. I've actually gone with one of his options on the left shoe. It doesn't necessarily look like much in hand, but it's definitely a more relaxed way to actually put the shoe on and take the shoe off without actually having to fiddle with the laces every time. So I actually found it really helpful, and I think a lot of you guys will as well, if you're like me and you're not really too creative when it comes to the lacing of the Jordan 5. So like I said, I will leave his link in my description area below. Do make sure to subscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine as well if you haven't, and once again, just a massive shout out to Sony Kicks. Moving on now to the actual sock liner of the shoe. Around the actual sock liner and the inner of the shoe, we do have this complete black material. Now, it's really well padded, as you can expect with all other Jordan 5 models. It does actually make the shoe a little bit more narrow though, all this cushioning around the ankle portion. So I would definitely recommend you do bear that in mind before picking up a Jordan 5. I personally do have wide feet, but I've still gone true to size, as I do feel that that is the best reflection on me. If you do have a chance to try out a model before buying, I would highly recommend you do so, just so you can understand the best fit for you. And now taking a look at the insole of the shoe, we do have this primarily black insole with the white Jumpman branding. Now that just about wraps up the actual overview of the shoe itself, so if we now go ahead and get straight into my opinions on the shoe. So just to summarise, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, I do give the Air Jordan 5 Anthracite a very respectable 8.5 out of 10. This for me is definitely a welcome addition to my collection. As I've already touched on, the fact that they are using a mesh toe box means I can wear this in any condition other than rain, and actually feel comfortable in the knowledge that it's actually not going to crease and it's not going to look beat up after just one or two wears. That is a massive thing, and it's a massive selling point for me at least. If they do start to make more Jordan 5s with a very similar material, I'll definitely be picking them up if they do, try some alternative colourways. And like I've already said, if you don't own the black metallic 5s and you don't own an off-white 5, this will be a very nice piece for your collection as well. But I'd love to know what you guys think as well, so do make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below. And if you've stuck around to this point in the video, I want to say a massive thank you. And if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification as well, so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.